Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Build-A-Figure from the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure series of Red Skull. We're looking today at Red Onslaught. For Red Skull, we've got Red Skull finally in a completed figure. It took us seven figures, I think, to build the Red Skull. The end result, though, is a pretty decent looking figure. It's not perfect, but I think the pros outweigh the cons. Let's start by having a look at his face. We've already had a look at this face before and still having an issue kind of getting the head to sit properly in the socket. I've applied a lot of pressure, but it seems to still kind of pop off. I might actually have to really push it on there. The face, by just sheer virtue of the fact that the rest of his body is more just a neutral red, the face does stand out considerably against the red and purple backdrop. The majority of his colors are that being red and purple. The nice large shoulder pads, I like that because it kind of encapsulates the head even further. On the back, he has the shell plate that came included with Captain America, which was also the final figure that we had a look at. Things I like about the figure. Proportionately, he's a good size. You know, by comparison, let's reach off to Cap Wolf. By comparison, there he is next to Captain America or Cap Wolf. He's a good large size. He's not a Jubilee. He's not a Rocket Raccoon. I'm trying to think of some of the smaller figures. Hit Monkey. Let's not certainly forget about Hit Monkey. He's a good figure. He's worth the price of admission. At least you're building something substantial. You're not building a little small rinky-dink figure. So that is good. He's a good mass size too. He's a much wider figure as well. I also like that. From a standpoint of recent outings, I think in the realm of Build-A-Figures, Red Skull is one of the better ones, I would say. Okay, so things I don't like. Let's kind of start looking at those things, little nitpicks. Areas in his leg, I guess intentionally were supposed to be a darker red, but through process of, you can see some of the black or maybe some of the bleed just in general that shows through, especially when you look at the back ankle joints or the knee joints there. It looks a little sloppy, especially this leg here. It does look a little on the sloppy side. Also, it really seems like anywhere there's areas where this darker red was tried to be applied, ends up looking a little on the rushed side. If not for that, the rest of the body doesn't really have a lot of paint to be said at all. And for some reason or another, the legs, right from basically like the thigh down or thigh cut down, is a different color than his torso. It's not overly noticeable, but probably now that I've shown you guys probably will be seeing it a lot more. I kind of wish that the back plate could have attached a little bit better than what it does. It just kind of looks a little too much like something I've just attached to the back. Literally. It doesn't look like it molds or at all. It doesn't look like it comes attached to anything. It just looks like it's a big flat piece of plastic I've added to the back. It's textured, yes, but it just looks like I've just, you know, pegged it onto the back of him. Not crazy about that, but you're not really going to see it from that end of it anyways. Okay, so looking at the articulation, I'm not going to lie to you. The head is still on the loose side. I haven't completely pegged it into place, so it's still a little on the wonky side. It's one of the harder heads to peg into place because you have to try to get your hand around the ball joint, or not really around the ball joint, but around the collar of the torso. So really, you're kind of pushing either from the side or you're trying to push it from the top with your thumb. So I'm going to have to apply a little bit more pressure to get that accomplished. He doesn't have hinges or anything in the shoulder pad area. The shoulders do move back and forth, but they are really hindered because these are just big solid chunks of plastic. He has a swivel point in the bicep. He has a single hinge in the forearm area, which also rotates the forearm. He has a rotation in the hand, which also hinges back and forth. He has the upper torso crunch, which also allows the rotation back and forth. There goes the leg popping off the place. And legs are on a ball joint, luckily for that. Swivel point in the top of the thigh, double hinge knee, and finally a hinge in the foot. Yeah, I'm going to have to get a little bit more pressure going to get that head into place. If I'm not overly bothered by it and I just can't get into place, I might just ultimately glue it. Some would say ridiculous, some would say, way to go, Spot. I might just ultimately glue it, I don't know. I'll definitely apply more pressure and try to get that head back into place. Red Skull, other than his head, and not head in a bad way, like, sculpt is good, just pain in the butt to get that into place. So Red Skull, I think for the most part, does execute a pretty good figure. And I can't also get the ankles to sit flat. Let's get him hopefully to stand. Hopefully, there we go. Stay. Okay, good. All right, so having a look at the figures like we normally do on this channel when we have covered like all the Marvel Legends line, let's have a look at the figures that wowed me, and we can kind of discuss the figures that didn't wow me. I guess really from my favorite standpoint, surprisingly enough, my favorite figure might be Cap Wolf. If you had just given me a Captain America with that head that we already had a look at, I would have said, however, if you incorporate something different, like variations to that character, well, then you've got me interested. And Cap Wolf definitely had me interested. Probably one of my favorite figures from this set. The other figure that I really liked from this set as well, if I can get him the pose, was Taskmaster. And I think rounding out the batch of 3, my other favorite figure from this set was probably Whirlwind. If you're thinking probably after that, it would be a toss-up, I think, between Cottonmouth and maybe Demolition Man. Demolition Man had a little bit more going for him, but I liked Cottonmouth's expression, and it was just different. But I think these are the 3 figures that I really liked the most out of this wave. Cap Wolf, certainly Taskmaster, and Whirlwind. Marvel's Whirlwind. So there you go, guys. There is the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure wave completely done. We can pack up shop. We're done. You guys can go off and do other things. Spot can basically just live in this virtual world where I do currently live. And certainly stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to be, even though he finished the review of the Marvel Legends, there's definitely a lot more figure reviews heading your way. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.